We got a great show for you tonight to talk about some great receivers of the Pittsburgh Steelers franchise and how they impacted the team. Talking about some of the best that caught passes and a chance to win a hat just like this from Vintage Brand. Details coming up near the end of the podcast. So stay tuned and stay tuned in just a moment for these great receivers in Steelers history.
This is the Pigskin Daily History Dispatch, a podcast that covers the anniversaries of American football events throughout history. Your host, Darren Hayes, is podcasting from America's North Shore to bring you the memories of the gridiron, one day at a time.
Hello, my football friends. This is Darren Hayes of PigskinDispatch.com. Welcome once again to the Pig Pen, your portal to positive football history. And welcome to an edition where we talk about some great players of my favorite franchise in the National Football League, the Pittsburgh Steelers. And I'm going to be talking about it tonight, wearing something very special that our friends at Vintage Brand just shipped to me. As you can see, I've got this great looking hat here. It is a vintage hat of my favorite Pittsburgh Steelers with a Steely McBeam character, a version of him that Vintage came up with to put on these hats. These hats are very stylish. We're showing you an image real close up of the hat right now. Very well made and very vintage looking. Nice flat brim and very constructed all the way around with nice materials and very comfortable and stylish. I've got a lot of people that have commented on it asking me, hey, where did you get that? Well, I got it at vintagebrand.com. And they have a lot of very interesting things, not just Steelers items, but items of all the National Football League teams, many college teams, and many sports in general, going to some vintage logos. And a lot of them, I think they may design themselves to give that vintage look. And it's really a cool thing and really brings out your fandom and lets you have a lot of gawkers coming up and ask you some questions. And you're the first one to wear this stuff. So make sure you check them out, vintagebrand.com. So with that in mind, we are going to be talking about the Pittsburgh Steelers and one of my favorite topics in football history. And something maybe that's really come to light here in the 2025 season came to life a lot in the 2024 season as well. And that is the receiving core of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, we're going to be bringing up some of the cards in my collection of these Steelers and talk about some of the great wide receivers in history. So going way back in the 1960s, we'd like to talk about Roy Jefferson, who was drafted by the Steelers in the first round, 10th overall of the 1965 National Football League draft. He was known for his speed and his big playability in the pre-Super Bowl era for the Steelers. He led the NFL in receiving yards in 1969 and was selected to 3 Pro Bowls during his career, paved the way for future wide receiving legends. And one of those was a guy that came from University of Southern California in the early 70s, Lynn Swann. Key member of the Steelers' Steel Curtain dynasty of the 70s, Swann was drafted in the first round, 21st overall in the 1974 draft. He was known for his graceful catches and acrobatic plays and named the MVP of Super Bowl X against the Dallas Cowboys the first time those two franchises played, where he caught 4 passes for 161 yards and a touchdown in a miraculous play that he had, very graceful, very focused, watching the ball as he was tripped up, falling to the ground, and making that big grab from the blonde bomber, Terry Bradshaw, to put the Steelers in a position to win that game and that championship, their second championship for the franchise. He was inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame, was Lynn Swann, in 1995. His running mate on the other side, well, that was number 82, John Stallworth. Also a crucial part of that Steelers offensive weaponry that they had with the backs, the quarterback, but paired up with Swann, he was really a devastating duel to go. And Stallworth may have been a better receiver. Seemed like he could grab anything from anywhere. He was drafted in the 4th round of the 1974 NFL draft, known for his strong hands, precise routes, and clutch performances. He made numerous iconic catches in Super Bowls, including a 73-yard touchdown in Super Bowl 13. against those same Dallas Cowboys. He played his entire 14-year career with the Steelers and was inducted in the Pro Football Hall of Fame in the year 2002. Now, coming on the heels of these two great, gallant wide receivers was Louis Lipps. Now, Louis Lipps was a dynamic return specialist and receiver for the Steelers in the 1980s. He was drafted in the first round, 23rd overall, the 1984 draft, and the NFL named him as the NFL Offensive Rookie of the Year in 1984. He was ended up making it into 2 Pro Bowls during his career and provided a much-needed spark during a rebuilding period for the team. After that rebuilding period by Louis Lipps, well, Yancey Thigpen came on strong, a productive receiver for the Steelers in the mid 1990s, known for his strong hands and ability to make contested catches. He had his best season in 1997, recording over 1,300 receiving yards, and played a significant role in the Steelers' AFC Championship team in 1995 that ended up going into the Super Bowl, losing to the Dallas Cowboys, third time that those two teams played. Now, Cedric Wilson was a player that came over from another team, but really made his mark as a Steeler. A dependable slot receiver for the Steelers in the early 2000s, known for his reliable hands and ability to move the chains. He contributed to the Steelers' Super Bowl 40 victory and provided depth and consistency in the receiving corps. Hines Ward, one of my favorites, was one of the most beloved and impactful Steelers of all time. Drafted in the third round of the 1998 NFL Draft, as a quarterback out of Georgia, not a receiver. Very interesting there. Known for his incredible toughness, blocking prowess, and clutch receiving, and named the most valuable player of Super Bowl 40. If you remember, he caught that very gadgety play against the Seahawks, where fellow receiver, which we'll talk about in a second, Randall L., threw the ball to him and caught Seattle sleeping a little bit, scoring that winning touchdown to take the Steelers to victory. But Hines Ward was a franchise leader in receptions, receiving yards, and receiving touchdowns, and a favorite target of one Ben Roethlisberger. Selected to 4 Pro Bowls along the way to a great career and hopefully a Hall of Fame career in the near future. Well, we told you about Randall L. Well, his full name was Antoine Randall L. Versatile offensive threat known for his athleticism and trick plays. And he was also a quarterback in college at Indiana for the Indiana Hoosiers. So Steelers having 2 receivers, or top 2 receivers, were college quarterbacks on that Super Bowl 40 team. Randall L. Ended up going on to the Washington Redskins afterwards, but didn't have the same career that he did as a Steeler. Now, Santonio Holmes came just a year after that and contributed significantly to the Steelers' Super Bowl 40 victory. I'm sorry, to a future victory of a Super Bowl. He had a big play receiver and exceptional speed and hands. He was drafted in the first round, 25th overall in the 2006 NFL Draft, named the most valuable player of Super Bowl 43, making the game-winning touchdown catch against the Arizona Cardinals in the back of the end zone. And the play before that, if you remember, he almost snagged in the touchdown there, just slightly overthrown in the opposite corner on a very similar play. Known for his ability to make acrobatic catches and gain yards after the catch, and a great returner was Santonio Holmes. Went on to play with the Jets after he left the Steelers. Another player had a very similar route going to New York after being a Steeler was Plaxico Burress out of Michigan State, a Spartan, a towering receiver with a large catch radius. He was drafted in the first round, 8th overall of the 2000 NFL Draft. He provided a deep threat and red zone target for the Steelers and had several productive seasons with the team before signing with the New York Giants. Now, in the wake of him leaving, Antonio Brown took over after Santonio Holmes and Plaxico Burress left. And he was one of the most dominant receivers in NFL history during his prime. Drafted in the 6th round of the 2010 NFL Draft, he was known for his elite route running, quickness, and incredible production. Led the NFL in receptions and receiving yards multiple times, was named to 7 Pro Bowls, 4 first-team All-Pro selections with the Steelers, and a great receiver, and again, great target for Mr. Ben Roethlisberger to throw to. Another one that Roethlisberger liked to toss the ball was to Mike Wallace, a burner with elite deep threat ability, drafted in the third round of the 2009 NFL draft, and along with Antonio Brown, became the young money crew of the Steelers. Known for his ability to stretch the field and score long touchdowns, he consistently led the Steelers in receiving yards during his tenure there, before moving on and eventually ending up with the Baltimore Ravens, their rival. Now, Martavis Bryant was a receiver that came in as a big target that Roethlisberger really begged for every year of his career. He was a physically gifted receiver with a rare combination of size and speed. Drafted in the fourth round of the 2014 NFL draft, he showed flashes of brilliance with his big playability and contested catch prowess. His career was unfortunately hampered by off-field issues and suspensions, which had him leave the team and go on to other leagues and teams in the NFL. Juju Smith-Schuster, hard to get out, but not hard to watch, was a great, talented USC receiver, very similar the path that Lynn Swann came, but he was a popular and productive receiver known for his physicality and his personality, built like a really a tight end and really strong hands. Was drafted in the second round of the 2017 NFL draft. Had a breakout season in 2018 with just over 1,400 receiving yards. Was known for his strong run blocking and leadership, and he is now found on the roster of the Kansas City Chiefs and ended up winning a Super Bowl with them. Also spent a year with the New England Patriots. Deontay Johnson came in almost a clone of Antonio Brown, really a shifty and elusive receiver known for his route running and ability to create separation. Drafted in the third round of the 2019 NFL draft, consistently led the Steelers in receptions and receiving yards during his time with the team, was also a very capable punt returner. And these are some really great receivers that we're talking about here. Along with, these guys that came from back in the day before the receivers that we just talked about, we really had some outstanding men that played on a 1957 team that I really think we want to mention here. How about L.B. Nickel? He was an end for the Steelers in that late 50s season. Great career that L.B. Nickel had. And one of his running mates was Bill McPeak, number 84 of the Steelers, the original 84, really an outstanding receiver in his own right. The Steelers having some great quarterbacks on their roster, including Len Dawson and Jack Kemp. Johnny Unitas had a stint there for a little bit, but didn't end up making the team. Ted Murchabroda and some others, playing with the black and gold, and that's what L.B. Nickel and Bill McPeak would catch passes to. So those are just a few of our wide receivers that have really made a difference in Steelers history. And like I said, we have these hats going from Vintage Brand, and if you'd like to win one of these hats, we have a contest going on right now where you go onto our YouTube channel, Pigskin Dispatch, and put a comment in on this video saying, I want that Vintage Brand Steely McBeam hat. And that'll enter you automatically in a contest that we're having to give a lucky winner a Vintage Brand Steely McBeam hat. Just like one I'm wearing right now, and I think something that you will enjoy and treasure as a member of Steeler Nation. So tune in next week. We talk about some more great Steelers history, and we have some great history for football overall. We continue our NFL pre-Super Bowl championship. We have our conversations with footballarchaeology.com's Timothy P. Brown and a few more surprises coming at you here on the pigskinddispatch.com, Pigskin Dispatch podcast, and the Pigskin Dispatch YouTube channel. So your portal to positive football history. Till next time, everybody, have a great Gridiron Day. That's all the football history we have today, folks. Join us back tomorrow for more of your football history. we invite you to check out our website, pigskindispatch.com, not only to see the daily football history, but to experience positive football with our many articles on the good people of the game, as well as our own football comic strip, Cleat Marks Comics. Pigskindispatch.com is also on social media outlets, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and don't forget the Pigskin Dispatch YouTube channel to get all of your positive football news and history. Special thanks to the talents of Mike and Gene Monroe, as well as Jason Neff for letting us use their music during our podcast.
This podcast is part of the Sports History Network, your headquarters for the yesteryear of your favorite sport. You can learn more at sportshistorynetwork.com.